We are now joined by boxing legend Bernard Hopkins. Coming up this weekend, we are going to see Liam Smith in action taking on Saul Canelo Alvarez. Bernard, it's a pleasure to be joined by you.
Thank you.
First of all, in regards to Liam Smith, despite being WBO champion, he's considered an underdog in this fight. Do you see him as an underdog or just simply unknown to the fans in North America?
Well, I think he's an underdog based on opinions, but I also think that he's unknown based on who he fought up to now. People know who Smith is, but he haven't fought the talent or the name to be able to go through that second door of a career, and he's undefeated. Well, they're undefeated fighters that nobody know until they get an opportunity like this. And that's the real tricky part that leads into what I need to say about being the underdog or being unknown. Nobody expecting you to do anything but just be who you are, and that's it. Undefeated, coming in, game, but no cigar. This is a big opportunity for Smith to be recognized, to not be the unknown anymore. And that's what makes this fight super dangerous for Canelo and also for Golden Boy.
With Oscar De La Hoya and yourself in Alvarez's corner, what kind of advantage does that boxing knowledge and experience provide for Canelo in this matchup?
The knowledge of having Oscar De La Hoya and Bernard Hopkins in his corner or surroundings, affiliated, and all other things that comes with that. It's like getting a degree from Harvard or Cornell or Yale pertaining to any other college that's not on that level. I say that again to you. When you have that type of knowledge from business and what we did in the ring, and you're a fighter that has an opportunity to inherit that same career history defining fights and even surpass it, and then the knowledge on top of that, if you're not the type of athlete and person to be able to absorb all that, it's going to explode and it could be bad more than good for you. But Canelo, he has a different type of sponge in his mind that absorb this stuff and not get big-headed. He don't get the big swagger we call when you see other athletes. Not that it's bad. He stays, I call it meek mentality. Meek in quietness. Meek in no loudness. Meek and I'm just going to take care of my business, say the right things, do the right things. But then the advantage and the disadvantage. The disadvantage is if he don't understand that he is accounted for himself, that he has to make his own legacy. We did, but he didn't yet. He's building it. He has an opportunity to get to the next step, to the next step, to the next step. And all these things ain't taking a leap. These things are what? Steps to glory, of history, of record setting, record breaking. Mayweather fight was a defining fight, whether he was going to be mentally destroyed after that, systematically. School butt kicking that he took. But it did the opposite to the man. It did the opposite to Canelo. It made him a better fighter. If you look at the fight from Mayweather and the fights he had prior after that, up to the Amir Khan fight, you see growth in rapid fire. And that's where I see between him, even though we're not talking about them fighting Saturday, and Triple G. Triple G have stayed flatline in hospital. When they said flatline, that's not good. He don't have no reason to go up no more because he's been having it flatline because his mind and his mental and his ability to be knocking guys out is getting bored right now. It's getting so bored right now where vulnerability comes in, where a guy that has a chance that nobody gave a chance to just happened to be a welterweight or a junior middleweight, or someone else can come up and win the fight and beat the fight in 2017, and it blows out the water of a fight of a Canelo and Triple G. I think we get that fight in 2017 sooner than later for what I sat in ringside and seen, but it was before that fight in London. I've seen it for the other 3 wins that he got. But you say, Bernard, how can you see something in a guy that's knocking out everybody? You fool. Oh, you fool. The same thing that Ray Leonard seen to come out of retirement when he fought Marvelous Marvin Hagler. Nobody gave him a chance. A, he'd been off too long. B, Marvin Hagler is killing everybody. When I see these things, I go back to how I looked at things when I was fighting. And no, it's not about me, but I try to educate people. I try to do the things that one company had enough sense to recognize is Bernard's ability to dissect and pick things apart in a chair, and that's HBO. And when I seen vulnerability, not just this fight, 3 fights ago, even in victory, I said he's ready. We got to get him sooner than later because guess what? Somebody else is going to get him, and it's not the same anymore. But Smith and Canelo this Saturday is a commercial that Canelo has to give to the critics and the fans, no matter what they think afterwards, to set up the super fight of this time of 2017. But we have to give you that commercial first. You got a commercial last week. You're going to get a commercial this week. And that commercial should go into the real deal in 2017.
On Wednesday, we heard Smith accuse Alvarez of ducking Gennady Golovkin. Is it wise for him 3 days out to be motivating Alvarez with that kind of an accusation?
I think it's not surprising, but I think it's a show of confidence or lack of that Smith has. First of all, you're here because the fight didn't happen. Now, you don't have to be grateful, but you should tell yourself, you know what? Whether he is or not is not my problem. You got a chance now, Smith, to be Triple G. You got a chance now, Smith, to do what? To capitalize on your own terms. And then maybe you can get Triple G. When a guy talks, no matter if you are a boxer or a person, period, they tell you what they really worrying about if you understand in between the comments, the statements. You should be worrying about your opportunity and worrying about Canelo taking you instead of taking Triple G, so he underestimating you. So you should worry about that and not wake up, as you said, and you're absolutely right, maybe possibly a sleeping giant. But instead, Smith ain't smart enough, ain't cagey enough. I'm talking about out of the ring, buddy. In the ring, he's all that. But out of the ring, he don't know the physics, psychological of what? Called warfare. The fight is won and lost on 2 terms, mental and physical. He leaving one on the table, and that's mental.
Now, in the champion, he does have knockout power and says he's ready for war. How does that affect Canelo's approach to this fight, Bernard?
It could be reckless if he's not cautious to the point where he's not waiting and delaying and telegraphing. I think it's a mean streak, and I think it's more than just the Smith fight that's motivating him. You know what I believe it is? I believe it's the conversations that's brewing, even hit the kettle off the pot, the controversy, the backlash, the support, the non-support. He know that he's coming after a fight that was last week, which was Triple G in London. I was there, as you know. All that motivation to a fighter understand that I can't come out here and look B average. I can't look C average. I can't look D average. Yes, we all know, everybody know the ABCs that says them, but do you really know them the way you say them? This is an opportunity for now Canelo to recognize that he's coming to put his stake to claim that anybody out there think that I don't have a chance on beating Triple G, I'm going to show you that I have. Well, it ain't Triple G, you fought, it's Smith. Well, it ain't Canelo, who was Kell Brook. And I love Kell Brook's attitude and his determination not to throw the towel in and fight on if he had that opportunity. But that's another story. We will see that super fight, but we'll take care on HBO pay-per-view, Canelo and Smith. If you're not there, buy it. It's worthy of buying it. If you're close and don't have a ticket, walk, run, ride a bicycle, skateboard, even get a donkey. They got horses in Texas, Dallas. Come here, watch it at Jerry Jones's house called Dallas Stadium. It's beautiful here. Look at the backdrop. It's great. Come here and watch it. HBO pay-per-view.
Bernard, in terms of your own in-ring career, it's recently been reported that you're considering a return. Having had success here in Canada, could you possibly see your next fight taking place here with Adonis Stevenson and having an Alien versus Superman fight?
They're not going to fight me. They're afraid of me. Al Heyman is afraid of me. Stevenson is afraid of me. See, you got to understand, Superman never really liked the kryptonite.
All right, thank you very much for joining us, Bernard. We're looking forward to the fight on Saturday.